It was one of those autumn evenings where the sky couldn't decide if it wanted to cry or rage. Thick clouds swirled above as rain began to fall, light at first, but quickly escalating into a storm. The streets were deserted, save for a single woman rushing with her head down, pulling her coat tighter against the wind. That woman was Anna. Her long auburn hair, usually well kept, was now damp and sticking to her face. She didn't mind the rain. In fact, she welcomed it. There was something about storms that made the chaos in her mind feel justified, as if nature itself was reflecting the turmoil in her soul. As she hurried home, her thoughts were a million miles away. She thought of her daughter, Emily, waiting for her at home with the babysitter, probably asleep by now. She thought of her unfinished novel, the one her publisher kept asking about, but she couldn't bring herself to finish. Mostly, she thought of the one thing she avoided thinking about the most: love. Anna's heart had been broken too many times. By her mother, who left her when she was just a child. By Mark, Emily's father, who walked out on them just when they needed him the most. She had built walls so high that even she couldn't see over them. But then, something unexpected happened. As she turned the corner, lost in her thoughts, she collided with a tall figure. Papers went flying, and a small yelp escaped her lips as she stumbled backward. Strong arms reached out and caught her before she could hit the ground. "I'm sorry I didn't see you there," the man said, his voice deep but gentle. Anna looked up and met his eyes. Dark, thoughtful, but with a hint of sadness, much like her own. This man was David, though she didn't know it yet. What she also didn't know was how this chance meeting would change both of their lives forever. Back at her apartment, Anna couldn't stop thinking about David. He had helped her gather her things, and they exchanged awkward small talk before going their separate ways. But something about him lingered in her mind. Meanwhile, David walked home, his heart heavy. He had recently lost his mother, the woman who had been his world for as long as he could remember. The emptiness was unbearable, and though he had always been a man of music, he hadn't touched a piano in months. The pain was too raw. As he reached his small, cluttered apartment, he noticed something unusual, a forgotten flyer on the ground. It was an ad for a local open mic night at a nearby cafe. For some reason, his fingers itched at the thought of playing again. Days turned into weeks, and by some twist of fate, Anna and David kept running into each other, at the grocery store, the park, the cafe. There was a connection neither of them could deny, but both were too afraid to act on it. They were like two puzzle pieces from different boxes, unsure if they could ever fit together. But then came the night of the open mic. Anna wasn't supposed to be there, but Emily's babysitter had canceled at the last minute, and Anna was desperate for a break. She brought Emily along, hoping a cup of coffee and a moment of peace would help clear her mind. As she sat down, she heard it, the sound of a piano. It was David. He was playing a song so full of emotion that it made Anna's chest tighten. Emily, sitting beside her, was mesmerized. The song seemed to tell a story of love, loss, and the fragile hope that something better might still be possible. When David finished, the cafe erupted in applause, but his eyes were only on Anna. He had played that song for her, even if she didn't know it yet.